What's the pettiest reason you stopped hooking up with someone? So he wasn't a horrible kisser, but kissing him was horrible. His tongue had such a strange texture, like a large slick slug. I almost can't explain it. I've kissed my share of people and I've never experienced that before. I couldn't handle it and started avoiding kissing him, and I remember at one point he angrily said, "I thought you said you love kissing." Had to end it. His tongue had such a strange texture, is something I've never read before in my life. I can't even imagine what it was like in real life for you. I once dated a guy that ate a lot of something, can remember, when he was a child. So his tongue was all weird and had a lot of scars. It was an experience. The first girl I kissed who was a heavy smoker had the roughest tongue to the point it wasn't enjoyable. Like damn near a cat's tongue. Bro farted like F constantly. My mom told me when I was really young that she once broke up with someone because he farted a lot. I thought it was ludicrous and surely an overdramatic reaction. Absolutely not. Mom knew. Seriously though, do date T-Bell for every goddamn meal and proceeded to basically S his pants all day. Did grandma picked farters too? Might be a tradition. IDK, but I'm not having kids, so this is for sure where it ends. She got mad I never viewed her stories. I barely used Instagram. Not even on it anymore. Not my thing. Straight up had a girl say the same thing 7 years ago. At the time I was like, what are stories? Couldn't figure out why she cared. We didn't last. Oh. That, and she was / is an alcoholic. It's just straight up F narcissism, bro. Honestly, oh look at me. Look at what I'm doing / eating, okay, and who gives a ref that we're better off? Trust. She had this silly oversized beret that I thought was an occasional fashion choice, but turned out to be a personality piece. She wore all the time. Were you hooking up with Senorita Awesome? Never said thanks to anyone for anything. Manners cost nothing and are next to no effort. If someone can put a little effort into being polite, I know they won't put effort into a friendship / relationship with me. There's the door. I'll hold it for you. He wouldn't stfu whenever I put a show on TV. This is part of why I ended up divorced, lol. It kind of started there. We have a joke because when we first started dating, my now fiance had this terrible habit of interrupting a podcast about 30 seconds after hitting play. She'd finish her thought, I'd hit play, and almost immediately she would go, oh wait, and start another conversation. Now I do it to her to tease her occasionally. We will have been together for 5 years next month. My GF, together about 3 months, will actually pause a show all on her own. If she wants to have a conversation about something, she won't just motor mouth over the rest of the show, so I miss it. It's such a huge thing I appreciate, but I'm too embarrassed to tell her this. A girl I dated briefly, she was super cute, but on our first date she talked about shoes for 3 hours. We hooked up, and I think that was the only time she didn't mention anything about shoes. I thought she was nervous, so booked our second date. 15 minutes in our date, she began talking about how amazing were the shoes someone had in front of me. I turned around and told her things weren't going to work out. Never looked back. Let's get some shoes. Oh my god. Shoes. Chewed way too loud. +1 just can't stand it. Also reminds me of this little gem. https://yao2 b/ixjvtrzjls si = jxyxf3fb4u1f0v6y. Oh my god. Lily. What are you eating? Gravel? Easily my top him episode ever. She got mad I got into a car accident and ended up in the hospital while on the way to her house. I had emergency surgery and woke up to some crazier texts. Never saw her again. Dundle Mayo. I once had a ref WB ghost me out of nowhere. I think I sent him a text like, what are you doing this weekend? After not hearing from him for a bit. Then let it be. Turned out someone had hit him on his motorcycle and he broke his leg in a few places. He texted me a month later and we hung out again. That's a wild reaction to the situation. She littered. That's fucked up. Not petty. Just logical. I kept getting parking tickets parking at her house. This is the kind of reason I'm here for. Similarly, I stopped hooking up with someone because they moved downtown and I didn't want to have to hunt for free parking. He has his last name tattooed across his back. O'Doyle rules. Steve Holt. Every time he had a drink he made the backquoting sound after. My roommate does that. I have to leave the room as soon as she pours the water for her instant coffee. Also she puts down the mug with a loud clank between every single sip of coffee. He thought it was funny to wake me up when I was falling asleep. Had a friend like that pull this S on a plane trip. We ain't friends no more. He turned the lights off in the room to get in the zone and his partially lit face looked kinda rad like, so I lost interest. I snort laughed at this. He couldn't be bothered to bring his empty soda cans to the kitchen trash, but could get up and walk to the same kitchen to get another soda. He wanted to live together, but couldn't keep his house clean. This is not even remotely petty. That's indicative of a child who expects his mommy to clean up after him. He once interrupted me at a party of his friends while I was telling a story, totally holding the audience, and he apologized for me being a little weird. I was once with a small group of friends and my date. We were walking around an exhibit, and I had bought a plant. A friend asked me a question and I went to point and knocked my plant down. My date just wouldn't let it go. Hounded me about being clumsy the rest of the time, making it so awkward. Was on a first date once. Driving to a bar through a residential area. There was a truck in a driveway on fire. I stopped and told him to call 911 while I banged on the door of the house. He didn't call 911. Instead he tried to convince me to just get back in the car and continue our date. The date never happened. Similar thing happened to me. Dating this girl and we were leaving a restaurant when the dude standing with what I'm assuming was his wife parked next to me asked if I had jumper cables. His car wouldn't start. The girl I'm dating almost cut me off to say no as I was telling him yeah no problem. I don't think he heard her, thankfully, because she sounded rude as hell. Anyway, the way we were parked, the cables wouldn't reach and I couldn't park my car on the other side of his. So we just said screw it and pushed his car out into a better spot. Girl I was dating F stood there with her arms crossed, pouting the entire time. Didn't help push the car. Nothing. Even dude's wife jumped in to help. Got their car going and then we left. Girl I was dating acted like I completely inconvenienced her by helping them, even though she didn't have to lift a finger. I was blown away by the complete carelessness she showed. It wasn't the only time she had showed that she only cared about herself, but that was the last straw. Broke up with her right after we left and dropped her off at her house. She ruined the ending force files for me. Trust no one. She thought the drive-in theater was stupid. Lunacy. The drive-in takes me back to simper times. Seeing the local one to me packed on weekends just makes me feel like a kid again. I live close to one and I love it. It clearly hasn't really been redone since the 50s. They even still use 50s ads to advertise the cantina. I try to go once a month with my kids. That's awesome. A packed parking lot is always a good time too. Everyone is enjoying the movie in private but together. He always peed on my toilet and around it. I was so mad. Finally I showed him like WTF. I made him clean it and now he is just somebody I used to know. Blah. One of my exes did the same thing. Peeing all around. Floor. Wall. Toilet lid. Every night I stepped into it with my bare foots. I was furious. I begged. I politely asked. I showed him how to check it after use and clean it. Once time I resignated and stopped clean. After 2 weeks our toilet smelled like public toilet and on the wall was yellow crust. I left him for different reasons, but sometimes I still remember this and still hate it. My brother does this in my house and I tell him that no girl is going to want him. Glad I was right, haha. Hope he learns. Yes, it was super annoying. Tell this to your brother please. Your future Sil will thank you. My actual BF is amazing in this. He sits down, cleans the toilet after use. I never saw a dirty toilet after he used it, and he knew how to do it even before he was with me. Okay, I'll remind him again how much I love him. When I get home today, I try and keep a clean bathroom in general because it's embarrassing after have a woman over and your bathroom looks like a teenager lives there. I got a new phone and was shopping for a case. I wanted to get a silly one. It had Cartlan from Fresh Prince doing his dance. She saw it and said I should get something sensible. I realized I was dating someone who didn't share my sense of whimsy and fun. I broke up with her the next day. Elsewhere in this thread, my BF left me over a phone case. And every comment under it, you dodged a bullet. That's what people don't talk about enough. Sometimes both people are dodging bullets. He gave me rotten eggs from his farm. All 12 dozen. I didn't buy eggs because he said he would give me some. Of course they were rotten. It was a gross. Waka waka. She was mad that I didn't want to hook up with her after she left a condom another guy used, stay in her for over a week. This is not a petty reason. It's disgusting. True, but her response was petty. She tried to have her friend's roid raging boyfriend come to fight me at my apartment and gave him the code to my door. I'd think the roid guy would understand if you explained that to him. Bro. She had a used condom from someone else in her for over a week. Then he would understand. You all would play video games together. He gives you some tips on working out and call it a day. Definitely possible. Some guys just wanna fight though. We were friends for a long time. Always checking each other out / flirting. Never single at the same time though. And when we were single at the same time, we got together. She kept saying my full name, like she was getting with a celebrity or something. It was actually really endearing. Well, apparently me being busy at work and school the next 2 days really put her off, because I came home to my roommate and her laughing and watching a movie in his room. A couple hours later, he texted me and asked mind if I get with her. I said go ahead, because I was pretty weirded out by the whole situation and decided her inability to communicate what she wanted out of our hookup was a major turnoff. So, not my problem. They hooked up, and her and I never really spoke again. Shame. Because I always thought she was cool. I assume she was just going through a lot after her breakup, which is how we got together anyway, so all is forgiven in my mind. And you got an Eskimo brother out of it. A few times. Actually, we worked at the same restaurant and have known each other for decades, haha. That's a rare relationship. Shoulder taken it to the next level and spit roasted at some point. She told me she lost her virginity to show me the way by Frampton. To this day not sure why that was an issue for me. Okay, this is an actual petty reason. I was so unbelievably tired. All I wanted to do in the morning was sleep in. But he kept calling and pestering me at like 7 AM to meet his parents. So I texted him that it's over, turned my phone off, and went back to sleep. No regrets. That's justified. Not petty at all. 7 AM. To meet parents. She was super cute, but that laugh of hers was so obnoxious. I tried to get over it, but I just couldn't. Hi Chandler. Oh my god. Op booking a ticket to Yemen. 15 Yemen Road, Yemen. She was mad that I don't restory her IG stories, that I was tagged. He said Sir David Attenborough should kill himself BC he had said mankind was one of the most destructive forces on the planet. I literally kicked him out that minute. Straight to jail. Not petty but justified. The guy smelled like refried beans down there. He was swag. I lusted after him for 2 years. We both ended up single and on his couch about to get down to business. Except the beans. I asked him, hey, did you have beans today? He says yes. Bean dip for lunch. Lunch was 1 PM ish. At this point it was 10:30. I guess you could say I dipped. Edit to add no, he didn't spill food. He had it on his actual wiener skin and hands, meaning he'd gone the whole day eating, using the restroom, etc and not washing his hands. Y'all are weird defending this LMFAO. Dude was gross. He probably jerked off to the beans. In the beans.